I've been thinking a lot about change, personal change, and about commitment specifically. And I was thinking to myself as I was editing my previous video about the Spirit of the Father. I was thinking about my dad. I was thinking about, everything he accomplished in life, everything he did, his character, and, his principles that he followed. And I was thinking, how does one succeed? What is the metric of success? How do you actually measure success versus failure? And there's a lot of ways of doing that. Of course, some people have different thoughts on that than others, but I think personally, just based on my own beliefs, what matters to me, success is being able to live a life without shame or without fear. Living a life completely free, with minimal regrets. Almost everyone's going to have some kind of regret. I think if someone tells you they have no regrets, they're probably lying. Although I could be wrong. I've only been on the earth 25 years. I could be wrong. I know my dad had regrets. I already have regrets. So, as young people, but young men specifically, how do we approach life in a way that optimizes what we have before us, what we've been given? And I think one of the biggest things for me is being present, being in the now, being here, actually really, really on the front of your life, paying attention, being awake, being sharp, not falling asleep at the wheel. Not falling asleep at the wheel. If I were to let go of this, if I was breaking the law, drinking alcohol, or falling asleep on the highway, there's going to be consequences for that, for myself and others. Real, potentially deep, lasting consequences. So maybe we should look at life kind of that way, kind of like driving on a highway. Maybe we should approach our lives with more awareness, awakeness. And obviously I'm talking to myself with this whole thing, as much as I am any of you, God knows. What I've found is that as I come closer to God, as I seek God, as I read the Bible, things become not only more clear, the things that I should do or should be doing, but also the things that I shouldn't be doing become more crystal clear, more well-defined, and high resolution, if you will. It focuses you up. So, I'm not going to tell anyone to get into religion or into the Bible. You only do that if you want to. You only seek God if you feel in your heart that you need God. And some people never get there, unfortunately. I don't know what's wrong with this world that some people never get there. But I've always had problems in my life that it was like I turned left, I turned right, I went up, down, forward, backwards. I couldn't solve it. I couldn't get through it. There was no way out. Where do you look when that happens? You've tried to address the problem at every possible dimension that you can perceive, and it's still there, and it's still eating you alive. Well, you turn to God. And now this sounds like preaching, but whatever. For me, the only thing that's been able to break me out of cycle of depression, anxiety, self-hatred, etc., has been refocusing my mind on a higher ideal, that of Christ. And I was just watching a video yesterday on the way to work. Listening, actually. I wasn't watching it while I was driving. Listening. Jonathan Peugeot was on the Michaela Peterson podcast, and he was talking to her about God and about patterns and about, the reawakening of the story in our culture. The story. We need a story, seems like. And she gave her testimony about praying and coming closer to God, finding God, when her father was deathly ill. So Jordan Peterson almost died. Most of you know that. Michaela Peterson got closer to God when her father was on death's door. How is it that we find God when we're in the most challenging of circumstances, when we're being pushed all the way past what we're comfortable with, what we're used to? How is it that it occurs then? But yet the rest of the time, when everything is fine, when everything is cushy, when everything is going well, we're riding high, euphoria, we tend to not seek God. Why is that? And that was one of Peugeot's warnings. He said, be careful that you don't just become one of those people that has a religious epiphany, says they love God, says they're a religious person now, during a trial, and then once the trial goes away, so does your apparent faith in God. So if we can just aim towards Christ, bear our cross, and accept that suffering is indeed a part of our life and then it will not disappear, we might just save ourselves from what's coming next. We might save ourselves from catastrophe, from genocide, from slavery. I'm seeing a lot of things in our society that are pointing towards slavery, and it's hard to watch. So we just got to be better people. Anyway, not to end on a sobering note, but I guess I ended on a sobering note. I hope you all enjoyed the video, got something out of it. Let's all try to be better people and proceed forward towards the light and away from the darkness, please. Let's end with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.